Hello and welcome to Shelley's Sacred Space. This is Ask Me Anything ish. So, my first question that I received was, why do I compare decks? Great question. So, one of the reasons I compare decks is because when you can find the similarities and the differences, you get more of an understanding of the card. Everyone who creates a deck creates it a little bit differently. They'll add aspects of their interpretation to it, which gives you a better understanding and different ways for you to connect with that card. So when you have the similarities, you see what the general theme of the card is, the base point of it. The differences provide you with an extra point of view and how that card is related for other people. When it's noticeable to you, you'll retain that information, which then allows you to add it into your readings for yourself and others and gives you a larger database to work with. To show you this really quickly, I decided to pick two cards. I picked one major arcana and one minor. The decks I chose are the Syrian Starseed, the Guardian Angel, Tarot of Dragons, Guardian of the Night Tarot, and the Good Tarot. So let's take a look at them. For our first card, I picked the Hermit. Here is the traditional Rider-Waite in the Radiant version. So the similarities include light, stars, being high up, the robe, wood or the staff, of course, the number 9, and darkness. Some of the differences, especially in the Good Tarot, it's a key. There isn't a person. It's a door. Some of the other differences are young versus old, the people. And of course, the Guardian of the Night Tarot is regarding an animal. So what I did was I actually took the description from the book and I summarized it quickly. So for our Syrian starseed, in the book, it talks about this being the end of a cycle because it's the number 9 card. We have gone through cards 1 to 8, and we are now in number 9, which is the completion of this cycle. So this is the first cycle in the major arcana, and we've completed. And number 9 represents being quiet, going within, resting, reflecting, then moving forward, gaining the enlightenment that you need based on everything that you've learned so far. That is the Syrian starseed. The Angel Messages Tarot actually has words on it, So it's got the introspection, the self-discovery, and the mentorship. So it was very, in its message in the book, was very clear about having a mentor that comes into your life, or you being the mentor and needing to shine your light. It's about having a quest for peace and gaining enlightenment through that. Now, this is the Tarot of Dragons, and this one made it very clear that the orb in the dragon's paw was a pearl of wisdom. And that pearl of wisdom was understood because of the time, the centuries spent alone, looking within, listening. But that pearl of wisdom is also a light for others to see. It made a clear distinction between the difference between loneliness and being alone. And it talked about this card as a counselor. So finding a counselor, using that wisdom as a counsel. And make a swings. The Guardian of the Night. This creator chose a spider to represent the hermit. In the book, it mentioned about seeking solitude to find wisdom. The spider was chosen for numerous reasons. One, spiders are less than social. They prefer to stay hidden. They do a lot of coming out at night as opposed to in the day. They stay in the shadows. They are patient. When you are looking at solitude and enlightenment, you need to be patient. The difference, though, or the point that it makes in this card is the connection through the web and the vibration and being aware of the vibration. And the web also serves as a sense of protection. So that adds that extra element of, oh, this is a time of going within, creating protection for yourself, being connected, understanding that connection, connecting to the vibrations, right? That's how this now adds an extra element that you can use in your reading. So even if you got this card, you could point out that the hands are open and the beams coming off of the light behind and past the wings are very similar to that idea of vibrations that are being sent out from there. See how it works? All right, and this is the good tarot. This is the one that's a little bit different. But when you read the book, it talks about retreating, regrouping. So going within, and in this case, it's almost like going within the home, having the introspection, and then with the keys that are hanging at the top, it indicates that this is the key to move forward. So it's go within in order to move forward. So now instead of just having a hermit who has gone to be on their own to reflect and then shine their light, we have a little bit more information about connecting to vibrations and the energy and being the light and looking for counsel and having resources for yourself, listening to the inner voice, being the counselor for someone else, all within this hermit card. So that is a comparison of the hermit and how you can gain so much more information just by comparing that same card with a couple decks. Our next card is the Three of Swords. In the Syrian tarot, it is the Three of Orbs. Here is the Radiant Rider Waite version. Now I picked this card for a very particular reason. It is one of those cards that doesn't have people in it, doesn't have a lot of explanation with it, and leaves it very open to the interpreter. One of the reasons I like the Radiant version is because behind the heart is that light that shines through. That light indicates something very specific for me, so I like that version for that reason. Now, some of our similarities that we have in all of these cards are clouds. A couple of them have lightning in it. There is a heart, somewhat, in some, or an indication of a heart. And I'll explain what I mean by that. We have sadness, and we usually have somebody solitary in there. So it's almost like there's nothing around that's helping you. You're on your own. Now, the difference is we have one that has sun, we have one that has chains in it, and we have one that's using the orbs. So each of these things will mean something different within the cards. So let's take a look. Our starseed, Syrian starseed, we've got the gloom, the darkness, which is over here. Then we have the brightness, which is here, but we also have right here the sun sneaking through. Now, in this case, the lightning indicates illumination. The darkness is talking about the dark hour of the soul, and that you can transmute that time and that suffering with the light. So with this illumination, so during the dark, sorry, I should do it this way. During the dark hour of the soul, you will receive illumination, which will transmute your suffering with the light. It helps you to conquer pain through light, uncertainty, and then what's interesting is you have the lightning that connects to that orb and this orb, and then kind of circles this one a little bit. So it indicates two uncertain things creating a new element. So that's a little bit different than some other versions. Okay, for this one, we have healing comes to those who request. So we know we've got the sorrow. We know we have sadness and loss. It talks about forgiving and healing. With the two angels behind, it's basically indicating that through your sadness, if you are to seek out help, the angels are there, and that help can lead to positive things happening from this time of sorrow. Now, in this one, just going to say this is one of my favorite decks. Actually, they all are. Okay. So in this one, we have obviously the pain and the loss. The dragon is holding the heart. We don't know if it's friend or foe in his paw. We're looking at rage and grief. This is a rite of passage that happens to everybody in order to move forward in the world. It is part of what you have to learn and a part of life. Everyone goes through this, and through this, you learn and become illuminated in different aspects. So it's a learning situation. Now, in this one, they chose, this is the one with the chains, which I find interesting. So the chains to me would indicate that confinement type of energy. Now, the heart being used here is actually an elephant, and the swords through it are the tusks of the elephant. And this card in the book mentioned about betrayal, pain, breach of trust. It's a heaviness, there's a heavy energy, but it leads to healing, which is the light that surrounds it. Now, the reason it was chosen, an elephant's heart and tusk was chosen because elephants are heart-centered. They have so much love and connection to their family, but humans betray elephants and their trust by poaching them for their tusks. And that is why that one was chosen. So now we have a slightly different theme of betrayal versus just heartache and sorrow. So you see how that element now adds something different. And we're now going to look at the three of air. So in this one, it said, the book said, let go for the better. Rejection for protection. And that this is a card of discomfort, but it shall pass. So you can see that she's not happy. She's contemplative, she's sad, she's going through a situation, she's looking like she's alone. And again, that's where you get that solitary or the solitude. So what our similarities and differences lead to here is we do know that this is a card of sadness. We do know that it is part of life. You're not the only one to go through it. Everyone goes through it in their own ways, and it leads to lessons and healing and transforms into something that you move forward with. So a lot of the times you'll gain strength from this lesson. So you become, when you get past that point, when you are able to go from the pain and the suffering and the sorrow into the forgiveness and the healing, then you're able to move forward stronger. You've now transmuted. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you've now taken that pain and learned how to live with it and learned how to move beyond it. And you are now a new person with that experience. And that is what that card represents. You see how there's a little bit more information in some of the others? And that is why I compare decks. Thank you so much for joining me for this. Thank you so much for the question. I can't wait to get into a few others. Remember, if you have any questions, please message me. You can DM me. You can send me an email. You can leave a comment, and I will do my best to get them answered. Until the next time, bye for now.